This meeting of the Community Development Board is called to order on November 16, 2021. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This board consists of 7 members and 1 alternate who are appointed by the City Council and serve voluntarily. I am Mary Lau, and I will ask the other members and staff to introduce themselves, beginning on my left.
Michael Boutsikas.
Mohammed Abdul-Rahim.
Andy Park.
Jay Daniel, attorney for the board.
Assistant Attorney Matthew Middage.
Jordan Behar.
Mike Flannery.
John Quattrocki.
Please remember to turn off your cell phones so they do not become a distraction during the meeting. Please also refrain from having conversations in this room so that we might hear all of the testimony given today. To ensure a complete record of this board's actions, we ask that each individual wishing to speak, including the applicant, speak into the microphone at the podium in front of us, clearly state your name, and spell your last name for the clerk. Now I will ask all those in attendance today who plan to speak to please rise and be sworn in by the clerk.
Raise your right hand. You swear affirm the testimony you're about to give us the entire truth? Yes. Thank you.
Agendas of today's meeting are on the podium to your left near the entry door. Also on this podium are a roster of the Community Development Board, the list of city staff experts and their resumes, the board's rules of procedure, and the annual schedule of this board. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes from last month's meeting. May I have a motion for approval of the minutes?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Right. Our next item is for anyone wishing to be heard on an item that is not on today's agenda. Are there any people here who would like to speak to something that is not on today's agenda? All right. We'll move on to the consent agenda, which comprises all of the items on today's agenda. This board has adopted a consent agenda format, and the consent items are identified as such on the agenda. Consent agenda items are those items for which the Planning and Development Department recommends approval, the applicant is in agreement with any proposed conditions, and no written objections to the case have been received to date. Items may be removed from the consent agenda today by a member of the board, a member of the staff, or any person in the audience for questions or objections. I will read each item on the consent agenda, and if any person wishes to remove this item from the consent agenda, please so state or raise your hand and we will remove it. Items removed from the consent agenda will be heard in regular order of the meeting. Items that remain on the consent agenda will be approved with a single vote. Item 1 is case FLD 2021-03003 at 19337 U.S. Highway 19 North. The owner is U.S. Highway North Partners, LLC. The applicant is Kyle Batch. The location is a 17.146 acre property located approximately 830 feet east of the U.S. 19 North, behind the Arbor Shoreline and Lincare buildings. The board is reviewing a 700 square foot pier from the mean high water line in the US 19 district for the property located at that address. The project's 80 feet in length and requests allowable flexibility for square footage of a commercial dock pier greater than 500 feet in deck area. Is there anyone who wishes to remove this item from today's consent agenda? Right. Number 2 is case FLD 2020-12027, located at 622 Lembo Circle. The owner is Ashcrest Corporation. The applicant representative is Sandra Bradbury of Northside Engineering. The location at 622 Lembo Circle is 3.386 acres on the west side of Lembo Circle, approximately 210 feet west of South Lincoln Avenue. The board is reviewing a proposed 10-unit attached dwelling development in the medium-high density residential district for that property location. The proposal includes 2 buildings approximately 24 feet in height with 20 parking spaces and requests allowable flexibility with regard to lot width, setback, and landscaping. Is there anyone who wishes to remove this item from today's agenda? All right. Our third and final item on today's agenda is case FLD 2019-10029A at 207 Coronado. The owner is Caris LLC. The applicant is Sam Karamoto. Boy, I'm going to butcher that name. At Caris LLC, and the representative is, I believe, Ms. Cole from Mill Warden Henderson. All right, the location is .13 acres located on the east side of Coronado Drive, approximately 130 feet south of the intersection with Devon Drive. The board is reviewing an amendment to an approved Level 2 flexible development application for an existing 2,519 square foot restaurant in the tourist zoning district and small motel character district of Beach by Design for the property located at 207 Coronado. The proposal includes a height of 12 feet and requests allowable flexibility for setbacks, parking, landscaping, and the design guidelines of Beach by Design. Is there anyone present here who wishes to remove this item from today's consent agenda? All right, if not, may I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda?
I'll move to approve items 1, case FLD 2021-03003, item 2, FLD 2020-12027, and item 3, FLD 2019-10029A. On today's consent agenda, based on evidence in the record, including the application, the staff report, and hereby adopt the findings of fact, conclusions of law stated in the staff report with conditions of approval as listed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the items on the consent agenda are approved. I don't see any director's items on today's consent agenda, so with that, the meeting is adjourned.
It took so long. Are you a record?